Alright, here we are, new day. Today we are going to be working on the front half of the Bronco. Just reprime some stuff, doing a little body work. Decided we're going to cut through and take this perfectly good hood and put some holes in it. So I didn't record anything yesterday, but I did get quite a bit done. Quite a bit meaning the Bronco got back halved. So basically the back half is completely on her, as you can see. Rear seats in, got a nice Bluetooth speaker hidden under there. Sounds really good. Threw a tailgate net on her. Roll cage, bed sides. So yeah, looking pretty good. So we're gonna go from the back half, which is basically done, with the exception of the lights and electric and stuff. Although I did hook up do have a cigarette lighter way over there, not sure if you can see it, for the Bluetooth speaker. So today, hopefully we're going to knock out the whole front half. We painted the grill, but not happy with it, so I'm going to scuff that and re-clear it because it came out a little dull. And then of course, this is the only piece that doesn't come off the body. Going to have to mask it all up, paint this, take off the frame, take off the dash. So yeah, busy day. So let's get started. Alright, so this is some pretty thick fiberglass. Just drilled a hole through to kind of gauge what I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to be using two different tools here. I'm going to start with a little mini saw because that's the precisest, but I don't know if that's going to work. And if it doesn't, I'll just go with this bad boy and use the mini saw for the corners. So let's see what happens. We're either going to get through this, or it's going to be a lot of cursing going on, which you won't hear because I'll cover that up with music. Let's go. Alright, we're going to do that one more time. No need to record it. So as you can see, we got the holes cut. So now we're going to go through and just kind of straighten out the lines a little tiny bit. For that, we're going to be using the flat board here. Luckily it just fits, so let's do a little bit of sanding. Then if we have to, we'll refine it with the Dremel. Alright, we'll put a little goop in these little corners here. Nice little bevel. We'll sand that out more with the Dremel and make it all symmetrical. We'll go from there. You can see we're all cut in nice, rounded in. Ooh, looks like a stealth bomber. Alright. Got the front end here. Front fenders, hood. We're ready to prime. Since this is just basically just a big white cloud, we're going to skip filming this. See you guys in a few hours. Alright, so I'd love to say that the tape and spray adhesive wrapped around the edge worked, but it didn't. What did work, however, you really can't even see the seam, which is good. I ended up having to stretch this over and use crazy glue gel and just kind of hold it in place and tack it in. But, you know, that's how it's going to sit in the truck. So you're not going to see any seam at all, even though the seam is right at the edge. Don't know if you can see it. So let's go throw this in. So it was late last night. I wanted to paint, so I ended up painting the hood and the two front fenders. And it looks good now, but that's because I just wet sanded it all down. Basically, two things happened. When I switched over to clear, I used a different gun, and that gun did not spray out well at all. It actually gave me like a lot of dry spots and stuff. And because I was in such a hurry, I ended up forgetting to tack cloth it, so I had all that trash to deal with. So, we're going to see who's calling. We'll get right back. Like I was saying, not exactly sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's kind of like dry spots. And it's just nowhere near as smooth as the other panels. So, I'm going to switch back to my original gun, which, you know, little small Harbor Freight gun, takes longer. But, you know, it sprays out nicer. It's weird. I was using a SATA jet, and I don't know. Some areas came out good, but I'm gonna go through, wet sand these, hit them with clear, and while it's drying, work on something else. And here's where we're at. We wax and grease removed her, let her sit for a little while. Just hit all the pieces with the tack cloth, which was one of my mistakes from last night. And wet the floor down, so much so that if I bail on film, it'll probably be worth it. So we'll keep that in there. We're gonna let this sit for another couple minutes. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna mix up our paint. If you never mix paint, find your ratio. In my case, it's 6:1:1. So I'm going with 4 ounces. Just fill it up to the 4. Next part, go to the next 4. Next part, go to the next 4. Mix it all up. Throw it through a strainer. In your gun. You're good to go. Me, I got my pressure gauge all set up to where I think I want it. Got a water separator on there, and I have a swivel because this just makes life a lot easier. So, get rid of some junk so it doesn't fall. Let's mix this up and start painting. So we have the gasket that we actually got the gasket for free. That came with the vehicle. Got the windshield. Now the windshield, ironically, I just looked it up. I paid 64 bucks for it. Now, same manufacturer, same person is selling it for 118. So I don't know. Maybe these things are going up in value a lot faster than I thought. Frame, just painted the frame yesterday. You can see, shiny. And something very important that if you do paint, what you really should do, I'm almost done. I'm going through with an X-Acto knife, and I'm just cutting all the paint. Because otherwise, as soon as I open up this hinge, it's all going to chip. So just go through, make sure everything's all nice and clean, so you'll chip as little as possible. I've already resigned myself to the fact that I'm probably going to have to touch something up on this, because I know the primer chipped off, but I didn't do this with the primer, so maybe I'll get lucky. And then you can see every other one I'm going to go through and just cut just to make sure it's clear, because we don't need to screw anything up. And a lot of them are pretty clear, but it doesn't hurt to play it safe. So we're going to figure out how we're going to tackle this windshield and go from there. Alright, that's the easy part. Alright, next up, you're going to need to grab a little clothesline. You know, you need about 15 feet or so. And if you look, very top edge, there's a channel. Start at the corner. So, you're going to want to put this rope inside the channel. Go all the way around, and then we'll circle back. Me personally, I find the easiest way is use one of these little picks, 90 degree, and just kind of push it. A little hard to do one-handed, but as you can see, it goes pretty quick. Easier with two hands. You get the point. Alright, now we got the rope all in. You can see we overlap it by about 6 inches or so. And one thing I do remember when I did the Chevy is corners kind of suck trying to get it around here, and you don't want to rip this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some soap inside all this. Just get a little bit of Dawn soap, throw it on my finger, run it around it. Should make it slippier. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to grab the frame. Now let's get to the fun part. By fun, I mean not really. But this is easier than doing it with on the vehicle. First thing you want to do is make sure it sets inside the frame. And then, well, of course, this fell out. Let's get this party started. That's it. Now when you're done, you just want to go through and just push everything all the way in just to make sure it's secure, and it's ready for the vehicle. So yeah, this took a little longer than I was hoping it would. All in all, probably about 25 minutes from start to finish. And yeah, it was easier because it wasn't on the vehicle, but if it is on your vehicle, just take out the two wing nuts and just drop it down so it's flat on the hood. So other than that, he's ready to go back on the truck. Well, you know what? Actually, let's see how the front came out. Yeah, looks fine. So we're gonna go clean this up a little bit, pop it on the truck, catch up with you guys later. So if this helped you guys out, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. Catch you next time. Quick little tech tip if you don't want to run to the garage to grab tools. In my case, I had nuts and bolts in here that I was using to hold it up while I painted. This one came out. This one is stuck. I can't move it. So, got myself a miniature adjustable wrench. Look at that, fits perfect. It's what I like to call an any millimeter. Enjoy.